India-US relations have evolved into a comprehensive strategic partnership covering defense, trade, technology, and people-to-people ties. Over the years, both countries have strengthened political, economic, and security cooperation while collaborating on global and regional issues. Despite shared strategic interests, the relationship faces challenges in trade, technology, and foreign policy. Moving forward, sustained dialogue, mutual trust, and partnership in innovation and security can further deepen bilateral ties. India-US relations evolution. Cold War phase, 1947 to 1991. Relations remained limited due to India's non-aligned stance and closer ties with the Soviet Union, while the US aligned with Pakistan during this period. Post-Cold War re-engagement, 1991 to 2000. India's economic liberalization and the end of the Cold War opened new avenues for cooperation, particularly in trade and investment. Strategic breakthrough, 2005 to 2008. The India-US civil nuclear deal, 2005, ended India's nuclear isolation and symbolized mutual strategic trust. Institutionalization of strategic dialogue, 2008 to 2015. Expansion of defense cooperation, regular strategic dialogues, and growing people-to-people ties strengthened bilateral engagement. Major defense partner status, 2016. The U.S. designated India as a major defense partner, enabling access to advanced defense technologies. Foundational agreements era, 2016 to 2020. Signing of LIMO, COMCASA, and BICA enhanced interoperability, logistics support, and intelligence sharing. Comprehensive global strategic partnership, 2020 onwards. Elevation of ties to a comprehensive partnership covering defense, technology, energy, climate change, and global issues. Focus on emerging technologies and Indo-Pacific. Recent years initiatives like ICET, QUAD cooperation, and supply chain resilience reflect the future-oriented nature of the partnership. Read about India-China relations. India-US relations. Political and diplomatic. Political and diplomatic engagement forms the backbone of India-US relations, providing strategic direction and continuity to the partnership. High-level political visits, frequent exchanges at the level of the Prime Minister of India and the US President have strengthened mutual trust and delivered strategic outcomes. Leaders also interact regularly at G20 summits, Quad Leaders Summits, and India-US-Japan trilateral meetings. Institutionalized dialogue mechanisms. A wide-ranging dialogue architecture provides long-term stability to the relationship, including India-US 2+2 ministerial dialogue, foreign and defense ministers. India-US commercial dialogue. Economic and financial partnership. Trade Policy Forum, TPF. Strategic Energy Partnership. Homeland Security Dialogue. Strategic coordination on global issues. India and the US closely consult on counterterrorism, Indo-Pacific security, climate change, and global governance reforms, reflecting growing strategic convergence. Multilateral and many-lateral engagement. Both countries coordinate positions in forums such as the Quad, UN, G20, and WTO, enhancing their collective diplomatic influence. India-US relations. Defense and security cooperation. Defense and security cooperation has emerged as a core pillar of the India-US strategic partnership, driven by shared security concerns, growing mutual trust, and convergence in the Indo-Pacific. Over the years, cooperation has expanded from limited engagement to deep military interoperability, defense trade, intelligence sharing, and joint operational coordination. Defense trade and technology cooperation. The United States has become one of India's leading defense suppliers, with defense procurements exceeding $15 billion. The Defense Technology and Trade Initiative, DTTI, promotes co-development and co-production of advanced defense technologies, aligning with India's Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat goals. Major defense partner status. In 2016, the U.S. designated India as a major defense partner, facilitating access to advanced technologies and placing India on par with Washington's closest defense allies in terms of technology sharing. Foundational defense agreements. The signing of 4 key agreements has institutionalized defense cooperation and enhanced interoperability. CSOIA, 2002 Protection of Classified Military Information. LIMO, 2016 Logistics Support for Refueling and Replenishment. COMCASA, 2018 Secure and Encrypted Military Communications. BICA, 2020 Sharing of Geospatial Intelligence and Satellite Data. Joint Military Exercises and Interoperability. India conducts more military exercises with the US than with any other country. Major exercises include UPSC, Vajraprahar, COPE India, and the Malabar Naval Exercise under the QUAD framework, enhancing combat readiness and interoperability. Maritime security and Indo-Pacific cooperation. Both countries cooperate in maritime domain awareness, anti-piracy operations, freedom of navigation, and humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, HADR, reinforcing a free and open Indo-Pacific. Read about India-Pakistan relations. India-US relations. Economic and trade ties. Economic and trade engagement is a key pillar of India-US relations, underpinned by growing market complementarities, investment flows, and innovation-driven cooperation. Trade volume and composition. The US is India's largest trading partner, with bilateral trade covering pharmaceuticals, gems and jewelry, machinery, electronics, textiles, chemicals, and agricultural products. In 2024, India exported goods worth about $87.3 billion to the US, reflecting deepening economic interdependence. Investment and corporate linkages. American firms are among the top investors in India, particularly in technology, defense, manufacturing, financial services, and clean energy. At the same time, Indian companies in IT, pharmaceuticals, steel, and automotive sectors have invested heavily in the US, generating jobs and innovation. Technology, innovation, and supply chains. Economic ties increasingly focus on semiconductors, digital trade, AI, and critical minerals, strengthening supply chain resilience and reducing overdependence on single sources. Challenges in trade relations. Persistent issues include tariff disputes, absence of a free trade agreement, IPR concerns, regulatory barriers, and differences over data localization and visa policies. India-US relations. Science and space cooperation. Science, technology, and space cooperation is a future-defining pillar of India-US relations, reflecting shared innovation-driven growth objectives and strategic trust. Institutional framework for S&T cooperation. India-US collaboration is anchored in the Science and Technology Cooperation Agreement, 2005, renewed for 10 years in 2019. Emerging and critical technologies. Both countries prioritize cooperation in artificial intelligence, quantum computing, semiconductors, biotechnology, cybersecurity, and advanced materials. The Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technologies, ICET, provides a strategic framework for government-industry-academia collaboration. Research, innovation, and academic linkages. Extensive partnerships between universities, research institutions, and startups support joint R&D, skill development, and innovation ecosystems, strengthening long-term technological competitiveness. Space cooperation. ISRO-NASA partnership. India and the US have a long history of cooperation in Earth observation, satellite navigation, space science, and planetary exploration. The India-US Joint Working Group on Civil Space Cooperation regularly reviews progress and identifies new collaboration areas. Future-oriented space collaboration. ISRO and NASA are working together on Mars exploration, heliophysics, space situational awareness, and human spaceflight-related research, enhancing scientific capability and strategic trust. India-US relations cooperation in multilateral forums. India and the United States closely cooperate in multilateral and minilateral forums to address global governance challenges, regional security, and economic stability. Quadrilateral security dialogue, QUAD. India, the US, Japan, and Australia work together to ensure Indo-Pacific security, uphold freedom of navigation, and cooperate on critical areas such as climate action, critical technologies, resilient supply chains, and quality infrastructure development. I2U2 Group, India-Israel UAE. This emerging mini-lateral platform focuses on practical economic cooperation, particularly in clean energy, food security, advanced technology, and infrastructure, linking South Asia, the Middle East, and the US. Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity, IPEFA-US-led initiative aimed at deepening economic engagement in the Indo-Pacific, with India playing a key role in pillars related to supply chains, clean energy, and fair economic practices. Global multilateral institutions, UN, G20, WTO, IMF, World Bank. India and the US coordinate positions to reform global governance, promote inclusive and sustainable growth, and address transnational challenges such as pandemics, trade disruptions, financial stability, and development financing. Mineral Security Partnership, MSP. India's participation enhances critical mineral supply chain resilience, reduces dependence on single-source suppliers, and supports energy transition and advanced manufacturing goals. Artemis Accords, cooperation under the Artemis Accords strengthens peaceful and transparent space exploration, enabling collaboration in lunar exploration, space science, and the responsible use of outer space. People-to-people ties and Indian diaspora in the US. Largest skilled diaspora, the Indian diaspora, about 4.8 million strong, is one of the most educated and economically influential communities in the US. Technology and innovation linkages, Indian origin engineers and scientists play a key role in Silicon Valley, AI, and startup ecosystems, strengthening tech cooperation. Political influence, Indian Americans have growing representation in the US Congress, administration, and local governance, shaping pro-India policies. Education and academic exchanges, over 200,000 Indian students in the US enhance educational ties, research collaboration, and knowledge exchange. Business and investment bridge, Indian origin CEOs and entrepreneurs promote two-way investments, startups, and global value chains. Cultural diplomacy, festivals, yoga, cinema, and cultural institutions promote soft power, mutual understanding, and societal goodwill. India-US relations areas of divergence and challenges. Tariff escalation and trade barriers, the US has doubled tariffs on Indian goods to 50%, including punitive duties linked to India's Russian oil purchases, impacting exports in sectors like textiles, gems, and seafood. Trade deficit and market access issues, the U.S. India trade deficit rose to $45.8 billion in 2024-25, with deep disagreements over agricultural access, dairy, and non-tariff barriers, complicating bilateral economic talks. H-1B visa policy tensions, the U.S. introduced a $100,000 fee on H-1B visa applications, increasing costs for Indian IT firms and creating uncertainty for thousands of professionals amid processing delays. Technology and data regulation friction, India's data localization and digital policy frameworks continue to clash with U.S. demands for open cross-border data flows and stronger IP protections, affecting tech and digital services cooperation. Based on ongoing policy debates. Geopolitical divergence, Russia and energy, continued Indian imports of Russian crude have drawn U.S. trade threats and tariff pressure, reflecting deeper strategic differences over the Russia-Ukraine conflict and sanctions policy. Strategic autonomy vs. U.S. policy expectations, India's multi-aligned approach balancing ties with Russia, Iran, and Western partners, often contrasts with U.S. geopolitical priorities, creating diplomatic friction despite shared Indo-Pacific goals. Way forward for India-US relations. Deepen strategic trust, enhance high-level political dialogue and defense cooperation to manage differences while strengthening the Indo-Pacific partnership. Resolve trade and economic frictions, pursue a balanced trade framework by addressing tariffs, market access, digital trade, and mobility issues, H-1B visas, through institutional mechanisms. Strengthen technology and innovation ties, expand cooperation in semiconductors, AI, defense tech, clean energy, and space, ensuring mutually acceptable data governance and IP regimes. Respect strategic autonomy, acknowledge India's multi-alignment approach while aligning on shared interests such as maritime security, supply chains, and regional stability. People-to-people and talent mobility, facilitate smoother movement of students, researchers, and professionals to sustain innovation-led growth and soft power linkages. Cooperate on global challenges, work together on climate action, global health, supply chain resilience, and reform of multilateral institutions to promote inclusive global governance.
Thank you for watching. Helps you in your UPSC journey. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more guidance and click the bell icon to never miss an update. Keep studying hard and good luck.